Hey guys, Lexirosa.poet here. Thank you so much for checking out an episode of Voices. If you don't know what it is a space for the marginalized to share their art, their work, and most importantly, their voice. So we invited a diverse group of people to come and sit with us and have real, honest, compassionate conversations with us just about what's happening in the world and hear their perspective. The goal is for you to feel empowered to have conversations, maybe think differently, and just hear from someone that may not look like you. So that is the goal, creating unity in the midst of the crazy times that we live in right now. Now, if you are an artist or somebody who has a story or experience that you would like to share, and if you are a business owner who wants to sponsor an episode, please shoot us an email so we can be in touch with you at visionsuccessmarketing@gmail.com. Today's episode is about to be bomb, so enjoy.
Nobody said it was gonna be easy, but somebody could have said it wouldn't be easy. Nobody said it was gonna be this hard, though. Nobody said it was gonna break my heart, though. Feels like I'm drowning, trying to keep my head afloat. I can't see no more, losing everything I own, slipping deep down in this darkness. So you know I'm feeling all this time. All this time I gave my ways up lying. All this time I gave my ways up dying. But nobody said it was gonna be easy, but somebody could have said it wouldn't be easy. Nobody said it was gonna be this hard, though. Nobody said it was gonna break my heart, though. Feels like I'm drowning, trying to keep my head up, slipping deep down in this darkness. So you know I'm feeling all this time. All this time I gave my ways up lying. All this time I gave my ways up dying. But nobody said, you're right. Nobody said, but you're right. You're right.
So I'm super excited to talk to Austin, aka Austhebear. What is so cool about you is there's so much dimension to who you are. In addition to being an awesome artist, you also study behavioral analysis. So I'm excited to pick your brain during a time like this. And you're interracial.
Yes, I am.
So you're mixed. We look ambiguous here. So first off, how are you doing? Fill us up in your world. What's been going on?
I'm surviving. You know, I'm making it. It's been like a up and down stream with quarantine. Creativity's been hard to kind of derive when you're in lockdown. There's not as much like life experience, I guess, that I'm getting as I used to get when I'd go out and perform, and like you're not really experiencing that energy. Like I feel like creatives feed off of each other, you know, like
totally.
Like it's just like you watch your fellow peers create something and it inspires you to go home and like create something new, and you're like, oh, look at this awesome thing that I made. Can't wait to show all my creative friends. But like ever since lockdown happened, like we don't have like the same platforms to do all that. So that's been like a big challenge.
So the song you perform, Nobody Said.
Yep, Nobody Said.
I love that song. It has been on my repeat playlist for a little while before COVID, but what I'm surprised about is during COVID, that was actually like a space of serenity for me, that song. And you said you've been hearing that a lot.
Yes.
Could you ever have imagined that that song would be perfect timing for what's happening now?
I could not have, no, because I wrote it the summer before COVID. So like I had written it that like basically a full summer before, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and I was like, wow. Like I was listening to it one day like in the shower, and I was just like sitting there in the shower like, dang, nobody said this was gonna be so hard.
Yes. It's literally perfect words. Like nobody said it was gonna be easy, and during this time it literally has not been easy. It's been hard. How have you been coping with it during this time? And even from a behavioral analysis standpoint, just share your wisdom with us.
Okay. Well, I have been listening to a lot of music. That's like huge for me. Just trying to find new stuff to kind of spark those creative juices. Trying to exercise, and I've been trying to clean my diet up. And stuff like that. Those have been kind of like my pillars, I guess, for coping, making sure that I'm maintaining like a healthy lifestyle. Study behavioral analysis, and I've been able to actually use it when analyzing a lot of what's going on in our country and in America right now. And it's like very difficult to look at that way, because what we have is such a deep-seated issue. It's like cultural, right? And when you're talking about human beings, motivating and changing behavior is like easy, right? But behaviors or traditions or norms, practices that are rooted in culture are like harder, because it becomes tradition, it becomes a pillar, it becomes belief, right? So for racists specifically, it's like I want to see all of them change one day, but for them to change means to accept such a very dark part of themselves. And it means to completely alter and change their reality in a negative sense. And they have to willingly want to do that to actually make the positive change. The way racists view the world is how they structure their reality. And when you're asking them to change, you're asking them to change their reality. And the older someone is, and the more rooted they are in that way of thinking, the harder it is to get them to actually change that.
Do you think that people can change?
Yes, I think that people totally can change. And I do think that conversation is like the key to it, really. Because a lot of the time that you'll see in racists, or people that are overtly racist or just kind of ignorant to certain things, what it is they have a lack of contact and exposure and conversation with other people of different races and ethnic backgrounds. If they actually had a relationship with someone across those ethnic and racial lines, they would have a completely different view, because their whole reality is structured on what they've heard, but not what they've experienced. So experience, though, will almost always in the human like experience outweigh what someone says.
What advice from a behavioral standpoint to be a part of the solution would you give? Loaded.
Let's see. I mean, it's difficult, right? Because you can't really tell people how to feel, right? So
good point.
That's a big standpoint. So, but you can kind of call them out, I guess, when they express things that might be a little bit prejudiced in nature. So if you're talking to, say, your black friends, right, and they're like, I'm done with all white people, you can say, I understand why you're saying that, and I understand your feelings and your emotions, but that's not necessarily going to be the solution. That's not going to be the solution, is more hate, you know? Like, hating another group because of, you know, and putting labels on a whole group of people that are putting labels on you doesn't actually fix or solve the problem, because you know that all white people don't act that way, just as all black people don't act the way that you're being labeled as. So you have to kind of really fight that urge to just act purely out of that emotional state. You kind of have to look at it and say, I want to generalize and I want to be mad at this group, but if I do that, then I'm really only perpetuating a mindset that led me here.
Good point. Yeah.
You know, I'm teaching younger generations to generalize and hate. And the thing is generalizations of any kind towards any group leads towards some type of oppression in the mind. So I think that it's best that you avoid that. And then with the white people that are closed-minded, the idea of, oh, I'm not a racist, I think you approach it as, well, you're not necessarily a racist, I would say, but there are things that you can learn. You know, and if you want to be part of the solution, then continue to learn, because racists refuse to learn.